I think about sometimes how it's so easy to get stuck and all the things that come with it. It's like a combination of stuff. First thing is to start thinking about, like really how to set your day up so that you know what you're really working on. You know what your projects are, and you're keeping yourself looking forward. 1 year, 5 years, and this helps you grow your business, but it also helps with knowing what you're doing each day. So you're here today and what's going on. But if you don't have the 1 year plan, the 5 year plan, then when you're going out and speaking, it's going to be harder to make money. I have this grid, and it's like this percentage that's broken out. And I've noticed that we stay in this like 30 percentile kind of a thing where we could have a whole 100% of the pie, or 80% more realistically, so we can quantum leap. If we stay in our smallness, which is this middle ground here, 30%, then what happens is, out of the 100%, what happens here is that we're barely doing our morning work. We're barely stepping into something that could shift us, give us a new identity, help us create something where we feel safe in our day. We can't just start our day and do our stuff, because if you just do your tasks, your brain is going to tell you only have so much limit to go. You can only be this happy. Your business can only grow this much. That's what's great about coaches, or your best friend that knows how to do this. But it's getting you away from thinking the same old thoughts. And you're going to hear this so many times, but we do think 60,000 thoughts a whole day. 80% of that is known to be negative. 90% of that is regurgitated over and over and over. And we just keep adding to the bank every single day, especially while we're running a business and we're trying to grow and we're creating this new identity. So if you want to expand more than just your 30% where you are just stuck, you're just saying, you're kind of like hitting your walls and you're like, okay, I'm going to do my work this morning so then I can move forward. So you have a good day. But then you're like, oh my gosh, the next day I have to do this work, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. Yes, that's what's going to save you. That's what's going to heal your body. That's where you're going to get raw, go bold, be you, to your healthy, sexy, wealthy lifestyle. Business lifestyle, by the way. If you can do that for yourself, you're going to take the whole pie. You're leaving so much on the table by not being aware of your surroundings and what you're sharing with others. When you look at your wall and all your gems of what you've done, it doesn't have to be physically on your wall. It could just be that all this good stuff you've done, in the background before you get on video or you're talking to people or you're connecting, you get to see all the great work that you're doing with your clients. Don't you want to expand out of 30% of just sometimes crapping on yourself, sometimes loving on yourself? Stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. And I mean, that's mediocre. You can do those incremental moves. That's fine. But if you are looking to make, let's just say 100,000 in your business, let's start at the beginning. And you're like, okay, I want to make 100,000. When you look at your percentages and your upper limits, if you're not really doing your morning work and clearing your body, let's just use that 30%. So let's just say you're only going to make 30% of that 100,000 because you're not believing in yourself. You may have some years where you make that, but you're going to keep going down and keep fluctuating based on your upper limit. How do you stop yourself from stopping here? And how do you go to get yourself opened up? It's the consistency. And most people that do that are probably about 7% of the population or less, is when I start looking at this breakdown. So if I go back to that 30%, that means you're only making 30,000 a year. I've been there. But you can go in and grow more by doing things that most of our population as entrepreneurs are not doing. And that's that sliver 7% that when you do your personal growth, you can expand and grow bigger and bigger and bigger if you believe in yourself. And the only way to do that is to make sure you have the tools, all the tools, creating your own tools too, so you can serve people, building your repertoire of tools for others, and you use them too. Step into your tools so that you know what a gem you are, not just teaching them because you have to feel it. See, these quantum leaps are available for you right now. This is where your new identity sits. I just did a less than a minute video to just really get in there and just kind of grind it with the fact that when you're trying to create a new identity, make sure the people around you are on board. If not, just don't spend as much time with them or set them straight. We got to set them straight. I'm changing them. I'm doing some updates. Please don't hold me here. On my bad days, yes, you're going to see that same person. But I'm doing my work every single day. And I'm going to be around up-leveling myself. And you'll notice some differences. And you can call me out and just keep calling me out on the stuff that I'm doing wrong. But why don't you partner with me? Speaker locking arms, us loving on one another. Stop shaming and blaming in your personal experiences. That's your personal ground where you're trying to stop the blaming and shaming so you can expand out there in the world and hold the space of hashtag speaker locking arms, which I call it. That's my global vision. We stop shaming and blaming. We stop shaming and blaming ourselves. We stop people blaming and shaming us. We stop the world blaming and shaming by motivating and really sharing what's possible. So the people that are like us that are growing are going to seek it more. This stuff is like, this is what stops us. I have done a lot of startup businesses, and I think that's that's the most intense work, because that's where somebody's working with a lot with their ego, their brain. They're so used to looking at their tasks. Yes, I'm going to do this. No, I'm not going to do that. Let me check that off. And you start just pounding your head. But what if you kind of let that go by doing your morning work so that you can really step into your heart and your spirit? You go, I'm receiving. Your brain gets cohesive, relaxed. You start seeing yourself on a higher level of who you truly are. I had a client one time say, you know how you're showing up right now? Like, yeah, as our coach, like, yeah. She said, well, the other day when you were acting like blah, 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 I would have paid $100,000 for that. And I was like, whoa. We can show up in different ways. Make sure you're showing up in your higher level. Go rest. When you're getting close to $1 million in your business, which means wherever you are right now, this conversation is really important. Once you rest and get away from everything else, that is work also. That is work. Because when you rest and you take a nap and you sit down and you do your spiritual stuff, you go for your walks, you work out, you do a comedy, like it's like working different muscles, that you truly start seeing that you can never touch your business unless you've done your morning work. I call it the doobie-doobie-doo process. And it's deep. It's as deep as you want to go. But you can tiptoe in first. But keep in mind that you're not here to break yourself down. You're here to make a change in the world. I love you. I'm talking to myself too. Namaste. Hashtag speaker locking arms. Let's change this world. It's our time.